It's time for Algebra 1 release question number 65. It says, which is one of the solutions to the equation 2x squared minus x minus 4 equals 0. And so it looks like on this one, I'm seeing some radicals here. You could try all day long if you wanted to try to factor this out into something times something else equals 0. You could keep trying and trying as many times as you tried. It wouldn't work out. So we can approach this in two different ways. We could use completing the square, but I think more of us are probably familiar with the quadratic formula as to how it applies to this particular problem, and I think it's a little easier to use a quadratic formula here as well. So let's do that here. Let's figure out what's our A, B, and C. The quadratic formula tells us that if we have one side equal to 0 in something like this, you've got, and I'm going to sing, that's right, I'm going to sing here, to the tune Pop Goes the Weasel, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's the quadratic formula right there. So this is what we use to solve equations like this, quadratic equations, where factoring is not possible. So quadratic formula can be used to help us figure out the answer here. That's an O, I promise. There we go. Quadratic formula. And that's an M. There we go. Okay, so what is your A, B, and C values? What are they? Your A value right here is 2. This is like a negative 1 right here. That's your B value. B value is a negative 1, and your C value is 4. So plug those numbers into the quadratic formula, and you will get your answer. So you have negative of negative 1. It's negative B, so it's negative of whatever B is. B is negative 1. So you have negative, negative 1, which will change to positive, but we'll get there in a second. And then you have that minus the square root, plus or minus the square root of b squared, negative 1 squared, minus 4 times a is 2. The square root goes over the whole thing, so I'm going to extend that out a little bit farther there, times c, negative 4. All of that is over 2 times a. 2 times 2 in this case is a. So now it's just a matter of simplifying this. So x is going to equal this, and one of these will be our solutions here as we go through this. The plus or the minus will be our two solutions. One of these will be one that matches up with what we see over here. And so this would be 1. Negative times a negative makes positive 1. And then this would be 1. Negative 1 squared is just positive 1. And then this would be negative times positive times a negative. That would become positive. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. So I have 1 plus radical 30, or 1 plus 32 under the radical, and I have that all over 4. This can be simplified underneath the radical to just 33. So I have 1 plus or minus the square root of 33 over 4. And so you have two options. You have, in other words, 1 plus the square root of 33 over 4, or 1 minus the square root of 33 over 4. Now let's look at our answer choices. Which one does that match up with? It looks like definitely choice C is looking like this. Another way to write these two things, you could write this as 1/4, but you'd have to write plus radical 33 over 4. It's this part divided by 4 and this part divided by 4. It's the whole thing, everything divided by 4. That's why these two don't work out, or this one specifically, that's why it doesn't work out. So you could have that or 1 over 4 minus radical 33 over 4. That would be an equivalent way to write these same things. We don't have the over 4 part here, and so that's why that is not a valid answer. This one, though, for 65, choice C is the valid answer of what we see here with our answer choices and how it matches up with what the two possible solutions are right here. Choice C is your answer for number 65.